Let me tell you something they say. Retirement is peaceful, right? That's what everyone told me. Take your pension, buy a cabin in the woods, live out your days in blessed quiet. Hell, I thought I'd finally escaped the kind of people who think the world should bend to their will. Boy, was I naive. Turns out the biggest fights sometimes come after you think you've hung up your gloves for good. Let me paint you a picture. Picture this Tennessee way out in the Appalachian cedar trees packed so thick the sun barely hits the moss, a single gravel road winding through a valley nobody visits unless they're lost or running from something. I'd spent 20 years as a fireman, 10 of those barking orders as captain, sleeping with one eye open, living on caffeine and adrenaline. So when I bought this place, a little cabin, a trickling creek, one bridge, one way in, I thought I'd finally won. No more sirens, no more neighborhood committees or backyard drama, just me and the woods. First thing I did was beef up security. Electronic gate, cameras, intercom. You don't just drop by my cabin. You're either invited or you're not. And most people fall into the not category, and that's just how I like it. So there I was, fixing up the old footbridge. Rain had come through the week before, and the creek was swollen enough to take out a few posts if you weren't careful when the intercom buzzed. I wiped my hands on my jeans and trudged back, already a little annoyed. On the screen, white Subaru. Woman in her late 60s, hair yanked back into a ponytail so tight it probably hurt, purple windbreaker clipboard glued to her palm. She's got two people behind her, both looking like they'd rather be at brunch. She presses the call button with the kind of authority that's used to being obeyed. Hello, this is HOA personnel. We're here for scheduled trail access. Please open the gate, right? That's not how we do things around here. Sorry, who exactly are you with? She straightens up, gets this brittle tone like she's starring in her own courtroom drama. This is Cheryl Garner, president of the Brook Pine Ridge Homeowners Association. These guests are here for a nature excursion we've organized. I was told this route connects to the ridge trail behind your cabin. It doesn't, I say, and this is private property. I'm not part of your HOA, ma'am. She actually scoffs. Sir, this route has been used by residents for years. I'm just asking you to open the gate. We won't be long. I can feel my blood pressure spiking. That gate stays closed. This is my land, legally surveyed, and there's no public access. I'd appreciate it if you and your guests turn around. She mutters something into her brunch club, then leans right into the camera. We'll be reporting this. Turns on her heel, storms off, throws me a look that could freeze lava. I thought that was the end. With people like that, you say no once they huff and puff, then move on. Or so I hoped. Turns out Cheryl wasn't the move-on type. Half an hour later, I'm tightening bolts on the railing when I hear a crack in the woods. Hushed voices. Branches snapping. I creep over, stay out of sight, and sure enough, there's a group of 6, all decked out in matching activewear, lifting a chunk of my fence, pushing right through like it's a suggestion, not a boundary. One's filming on their phone. I don't yell. I don't make a scene. I just walk back, pull up my camera feed, record it clear as day, and call the sheriff. Hey, this is Declan Braywood. Got a trespass problem out on Cedar Loop. 6 people on my land damaging my fence. All on camera. The deputy says he'll swing by. Meanwhile, I print a new sign in bright red private forest. Trespassers will be prosecuted. Cameras active. No exceptions. Bolt it to a post. When the deputy shows, he whistles at the footage. That's criminal trespass and property damage. You want to press charges? Not yet. But log it. This isn't over. Before he leaves, I find a glossy brochure stuffed in my gate. Brook Pine Ridge Nature Experience, it says in font straight off a spa menu. Inside a map with a scenic overlook right past my cabin. They're literally selling tours through land they don't own. Now it's personal. Next morning, she's back. Cheryl. Same purple windbreaker, but now she's brought backup. A guy in a blazer who looks like a mall cop and a woman with a folder stuffed full of documents. I'm on my deck with my coffee, trying not to throw the mug. Gate speaker chirps. I sigh, walk over, already wishing I'd installed a moat with gators. Mr. Braywood, Cheryl says, like I'm a defendant in court. This is an official request from Brook Pine Ridge, HOA, to access observation points within our understood perimeter of community use. You mean the private property I legally own, I reply. Mall cop steps forward. This land has been used for over 15 years by members of the community as a hiking route. Under state precedent, such use constitutes potential public easement. I almost laugh. Do you even know what an easement is? Cheryl cuts in. We're not here to argue. Per the HOA's advisory board, access to the Cedar Bluff Overlook will resume next Saturday 10 to 4. We're extending you the courtesy of advance notice. My turn to scoff. I'll extend you the courtesy of telling you to leave. Step on my land again, you'll get cameras, sheriff's deputies, and civil liability stapled to your forehead. That landed. Cheryl's face went beet red. She slapped some official-looking paper against my camera. This is an official notice. Read it. Understand what you're interfering with. When they leave, I grab the paper. All bark, no bite. Lawyer talk, no signatures, nothing that matters. I send it to my attorney, Kate. She calls me back chuckling. Want me to send a cease and desist? Yeah, and check for any fake easement filings. Then I pull out my land survey, every angle mapped and notarized. I make copies, laminate them, and replace my old sign with one that literally shows the survey plus a new metal plate private road. No public easements. Violators will be prosecuted. Night falls. An SUV idles outside my gate for 5 minutes, then disappears. I change all the access codes, check the perimeter with a flashlight sidearm on my hip. Find fresh boot prints. Someone jammed a stick into the fence latch. I reinforce it with steel brackets, leave the floodlight on all night. Then I set my drone system to auto-patrol and arm the facial recognition. They wanted to play games fine, but I played for keeps. Couple quiet days. I almost relax. Then in my mailbox, official forms from the county fire committee. An anonymous report about emergency access being blocked by my gate. Now I spent half my life in the fire service. I know the committee. This is a bluff. But it's also an escalation. Kate sighs over the phone abusive process. If Cheryl filed that under her HOA, she's in deep. She tells me document everything. Prove the road is accessible. Drone footage, whatever you've got. That night I filmed the whole access road, every bend, every turnout, then upload it all. The next day I trimmed the brush so low you could drive a tank through. Attach a sign, emergency vehicle turnout compliant. Gate access available. But Cheryl's not done. Now the County Planning Commission is sniffing around. They got a complaint saying my road was a shared use lane and I can't have a gate at all. Cheryl's name is right at the bottom. That's it. Time to go nuclear. I give Kate everything, plat maps, deeds, original filings. She files a formal appeal, public records, requests the works. Meanwhile, I install a second gate halfway down the driveway, industrial steel, solar-powered independent code panel. This gate's not just about security, it's psychological. You come for me, I double down. I call my buddy Jason, now a fire chief, to do a walkthrough. He laughs, signs off on my road, says, "Your driveway's better than half the subdivisions in this county." But Cheryl, she doesn't back off, she doubles down. That night, my drone catches a group of people sneaking up in the rain. 7 of them. They trample my fence, film themselves, treat my bluff like a tourist stop. One guy actually pees on my new sign. I step out of the shadows, flashlight blazing, party's over. Hands up. They scatter. Cheryl shows up, umbrella and camera in hand, shouting that I'm interfering with community access. Then thank God the sheriff's deputies roll up. They arrest the ones who damaged property, take statements, and inform Cheryl point blank, "No easement exists here. You're trespassing." She looks like someone killed her dog and stole her car in the same breath. But she's not done fighting. The next morning, a county inspector shows up, yet another complaint from Cheryl, now claiming my gates are unauthorized infrastructure. He walks the property, asks his questions, takes his photos. Before he leaves, he warns me, HOA filed for a public hearing. They're gunning for your property's access status. I don't sleep that night. Cheryl's new tactic is to claim my land was always public. If she wins, they'll force a public easement. My lawyer says they're trying to bleed you dry with paperwork. It's not about winning. It's about making you give up. But I don't scare easy. We file a formal cease and desist, deliver it to Cheryl in person. She hisses, "You'll regret this." I snap back, "No, you will." That same week, I catch new trail markers, blue arrows hammered into posts throughout her HOA neighborhood, pointing straight into my woods. Subtle. Devious. I photograph every one, file a civil claim against the HOA for public deception. I install motion-activated speakers, hidden loud my own voice. "You are trespassing. Leave immediately." Hearing day. Cold, foggy room full of neighbors, county officials, and Cheryl's little army. She rolls out her maps, claims traditionally used trails, says my gates are disrupting the community. Kate stands up, drops a mountain of evidence, surveys, deeds, voicemails, sheriff's reports, drone footage, cease and desist, even Cheryl's old voicemail. "Could we maybe use your bridge?" "No big deal." The board's quiet. One guy, probably Cheryl's friend, says, "Isn't it a little selfish to keep nature trails locked away?" I lean forward, voice low. What's selfish is telling people they're entitled to someone else's land just because they want it. This isn't a public park. You don't get to hand out what you don't own. The board takes a recess. I step outside, feel the cold bite of justice in the air, but I know it's not over. 2 nights later, someone vandalizes my cameras, leaves a new flyer, another claim of public access. It's siege warfare now. That morning, we file a full lawsuit: trespass, harassment, misrepresentation, document falsification. We request an emergency injunction, 200 feet, no HOA members allowed near my lines. In court, Kate's a force of nature. She makes Cheryl read her own flyers, shows video of her guests trashing my land, produces old emails bragging about community reclamation. The best part, a digital image of Cheryl 3 years ago outside my gate saying never been here before. Judge rules in my favor. No easement. Private land. HOA and Cheryl, you're liable for coordinated harassment. 1.2 million in damages, 22 months county detention for Cheryl, 5-year ban on HOA business. All trail markers destroyed, public notice printed in the paper. The day I saw the county trucks removing the last blue arrows, I didn't celebrate yet. That came later when I bought a decommissioned fire truck, set it behind my new gate, and welded a sign, private cabin. Not a tour stop, not your business. Neighbors came by laughing, giving high fives. I handed out stickers. My gate. My land. Not your community. Hiking experience. I stood on my bluff, breathing deep, real silence, not a silence you have to fight for. And you know what the craziest part is? After all the fighting and legal fees and sleepless nights, what stuck with me wasn't the satisfaction of winning. It was this gnawing little truth. Sometimes you don't realize how badly someone wants what's yours until you say no. And then you find out just how far they'll go to take it. Power entitlement. Call it what you want. It brings out the worst in folks who can't hear no. So here's the question that keeps me up even now. Where's the line between standing your ground and becoming just as stubborn as the people you're fighting? Is it justice or just another flavor of revenge? I want to know what you think. Drop a comment, tell me your own story about dealing with entitlement, HO, as neighbors who won't take a hint. Where does justice end and payback begin? And in the end, was it worth it? Because out here in the woods, some fences are built for more than just keeping people out. They're there to remind us what's really worth protecting.